Kendrick Lamar just did the unthinkable in an industry built on ego, pride, and profit. Kendrick just gave it all up. That's right, this man gave his OWN tour profits to Rakim, the legendary godfather of lyrical rap, in what fans are calling the most respectful power move in hip-hop history. And the moment the news dropped, the entire culture lost its mind. J. Cole allegedly texted Kendrick the words, "You serious?" Jay-Z made a private call to congratulate both men and Drake, quiet as a mouse for now. But why did Kendrick do this? What was Rakim's reaction? And what secret message was hidden in Kendrick's final performance that nitrogen monoxide one noticed until now? This isn't just a headline. This is a hip-hop earthquake. And trust me, the truth behind Kendrick's move, it's way deeper than just money. It's legacy, it's power, and it's about to change everything we thought we knew. Stay tuned, because what happens next might tear the rap game apart. Kendrick Lamar has always been known for his quiet power. He doesn't chase headlines. He becomes them. And just when the world thought he'd already done everything, from Pulitzer Prizes to diss track domination, he flipped the entire rap game upside down by giving it away. But to understand why this move is so legendary, you gotta go back, way back, to Rakim. Rakim isn't just some old-school rapper. He's the blueprint of lyrical mastery. Before Kendrick was rapping with soul and syllables, Rakim was the god of flow when Eric B. and Rakim dropped Paid in Full in 1987. He didn't just rhyme, he reprogrammed what rap could be. No punchlines, no gimmicks, just pure consciousness, rhyme science, and bars that wrapped around your brain like a python. Legends like Nas, Jay-Z, Eminem, and yes, Kendrick have all cited Rakim as their lyrical forefather. But here's where it gets messy. For decades, Rakim remained a legend in the shadows. Rakim without a crown in the digital age. Respected? Absolutely. But never truly rewarded by the new-gen industry that feasted off his influence until Kendrick changed that. Let's rewind to last year. Kendrick's Grand National Tour wasn't just another run, it was a religious experience. From LA to London, Amsterdam to Atlanta, fans were calling it a masterclass in performance art. A mix of music, poetry, protest, and mystery that left crowds shaking in silence. He brought out surprise guests, dropped unreleased verses, and debuted a visual album that critics are still decoding. But what nitrogen monoxide one realized is that hidden in the visuals tucked between scenes of chaos, kings, and children holding microphones was an image of Rakim, faint, flashing, gone in less than a second. At first, fans thought it was an Easter egg, a nod, a shout-out. But behind closed doors, it was the beginning of a plan, because Kendrick had already made up his mind. He wasn't going to just thank Rakim in words. He was going to thank him with wealth. Insiders say Kendrick started quietly, transferring portions of his Grand National Tour earnings into a trust tied directly to Rakim, without Rakim even knowing. Sources from within PG Lang, Kendrick's creative company, confirmed that the idea came during a late-night session, when Kendrick reportedly said, "If I'm eating off his blueprint, then he deserves the feast too." Boom. That right there. That's not an artist. That's a prophet in motion. And here's the wild part. No one around him even agreed. Managers, advisors, even close friends reportedly tried to stop him. They told him he could thank Rakim with a verse, a plaque, maybe even a collab, but giving up a chunk of his biggest tours to someone else. That's madness. But Kendrick didn't flinch. He doubled down. He didn't even make it a partnership deal. He made it a gift, taxed and structured legally, to benefit Rakim and his family for decades. Let that sink in. While most rappers are out here fighting over splits and royalties, Kendrick gave his cut away. And if you think Rakim saw it coming, Not even close. The Og was apparently in tears when he got the call from his accountant, saying a seven-figure deposit had just been made in his name, with a note that simply read, "You laid the bricks. I walked the path. KL chills." Literal chills. But the real drama didn't start until the news leaked. Because once the hip-hop world found out what Kendrick did, lines were drawn. And when Kendrick finally spoke on stage at his final show in Brooklyn and dropped a message the entire internet's still decoding, everything changed. And trust me, after Kendrick gave up millions to Rakim in silence, the world didn't find out from him. It found out from a bank leak. And industry insiders spilled the tea to a hip-hop journalist, who casually tweeted, "Unconfirmed. Kendrick redirected a chunk of his Grand National Tour profits to Rakim. Like, millions, just out of respect. No collab, just gratitude." The internet froze. No promo. No announcement. Just a whispered act of reverence that shook the culture. Then came the confirmation. Rakim's manager posted a screenshot on IG of a cryptic letter Kendrick sent. "You don't owe the game anything. The game owes you. So, I'm doing my part. To pay that back, not for headlines, for honor." That's when the floodgates blew open. Fans were divided. Half called it the purest act of homage in hip-hop history. The other half thought it was a power play. Is Kendrick trying to rewrite the GOAT hierarchy? Feels like a low-key jab at every rapper who's ever called themselves the new Rakim, but never gave him a dime. The reactions started getting spicy. Joe Budden on his podcast, "Kendrick just exposed the rest of the rap game. You made your money off Rakim's style, and you ain't paid a cent. What does that make you?" Funk Flex on Hot 97. "This ain't just love. This is legacy chess." Kendrick just moved the queen across the board and told everyone else to catch up. Lupe Fiasco tweeted, "I've been shouting Rakim since day one, but ain't nobody praised me like this. Guess silence gets the clicks now." And then came the most unexpected diss. Drake's Story of Legacy freestyle dropped out of nowhere on SoundCloud. No tags. No promo, just bars. Legends don't need gifts. They need rivals. You trying to buy your way into the vinyl. Everyone knew what that was. Drake just threw a lyrical punch at Kendrick's donation. He called it performative. He called it a passive flex dressed as homage. He accused Kendrick of setting up sainthood while the rest of the game's still hustling through capitalism. Twitter went nuts at Bars on Fire. Drake just called Kendrick a guilt tipper with a god complex. Whoa. At Rap Crusaders. So Kendrick gives money away and still gets smoked. This game cold. But Kendrick didn't respond on Twitter. He responded. On stage at the final Grand National Tour show in Brooklyn, Kendrick gave what looked like a casual thank you speech. Until it wasn't. Y'all keep talking about goats and ghosts and gimmicks. I don't need to argue with nobody. I just need y'all to remember who taught me to rap. And remember I paid him what he deserved. Let's see who else will. Boom. The crowd lost its mind. Let's see who else will. That was a challenge. A dare. A mic drop aimed straight at the industry. The twist? A close friend of Rakim, a former DJ, leaked a phone call with him the next day. And Rakim sounded emotional, but also cautious. "I ain't asked for no tribute. Ain't want no crown. But what Kendrick did, that's bigger than me." That's a message to the whole culture. But now, the gun, come for him. Just wait. And boy was he right. Within 24 hours, 3 rappers subtweeted Kendrick. A major label reportedly pulled Kendrick from a playlist after pressure from an unnamed artist. One old-school rapper claimed Kendrick stole the spotlight to look righteous. It wasn't just drama, it was backlash. People started digging into Kendrick's past, trying to find dirt. Old headlines, tour contracts, Anything that would paint him as a hypocrite. You gave money to Rakim but didn't show up at the BET Awards? Where's that energy for the West Coast legends you grew up on? Kendrick acting like the Robin Hood of rap now. Weird? Flex. But while the rap world squabbled and the headlines spun, one person stayed silent. RKI until he died the end. Because at a small venue in Harlem, during what was supposed to be a casual 20-minute set, Rakim stopped mid-show. No beat, no crowd hype, just his voice. Y'all saying a lot out there, saying Kendrick trying to rewrite the culture. But I'll tell you this, he the first to pay respect with more than his mouth. He didn't owe me a dime, but he gave anyway. And if that makes y'all uncomfortable, maybe it's 'cause you ain't give nothing at all. And the crowd, dead silent. Because when Rakim speaks like that, it's gospel. The culture was split. One side praised Kendrick's move as the ultimate show of respect. The other side screamed manipulation, ego, power play. But while the artists were busy arguing on air, the fans were organizing underground, and what started as a few tribute tweets turned into a movement. Fan pages lit up with one phrase, over and over again. Pay what you owe. Hashtag pay what you owe trended for 3 days straight. It started as a call for other rappers to honor their inspirations like Kendrick did. But quickly, it evolved into something bigger. Think about it. Every time a rapper posts about Tupac, fans flooded the comments with, "Did you ever support his foundation?" Every time someone dropped a song that sounded like Nas or Big L or Lauryn Hill, "Did you ever give back to who inspired that flow?" People were holding receipts, and the hip-hop world had no idea what to do. Then came the bombshell, a leaked screenshot from Kendrick's inner circle. Someone on his PG Lang creative team showed up on Reddit and quickly spread across X and Instagram. It showed a slide from a private pitch deck, allegedly from months ago, titled, "The Sacrifice Campaign, Paying Forward the Blueprint." In the notes, Kendrick wanted to create a quiet initiative where newer artists set aside 1% of their tour profits for legacy royalties to past legends. He even had code names for the pilot group, Rakim, KRS, Cube, and Latifah. The plan was to launch it quietly, no press, just silent gestures that would speak for themselves. But here's the kicker. This wasn't supposed to come out until 2026. Someone leaked it, early and now. The whole industry was being exposed, y'all. Been profiting off legends for years, and Kendrick's the only one paying dues. How many bars have y'all bit? How many flows? And gave nothing back? The anger wasn't just towards rappers now. Fans turned on labels, streaming platforms, and brands. Spotify got an old-school rap playlist with 30-meter streams. But how much of that goes back to the pioneers that keeps using Rakim and Nas clips in montages? Did they ever cut a check? The pay what you owe movement became uncontrollable. TikTokers started exposing artists who bragged about inspiration, but never showed gratitude. Instagram lives were full of heated debates. YouTubers made full documentaries overnight. Meanwhile, Kendrick, still dead. Silent dot, but then he reappeared. In the most Kendrick way possible, a new visual suddenly dropped. On PG Lang's official YouTube, no warning, no title, just a thumbnail of a shadowy mic. The 2-minute video, pure silence, until the final 30 seconds. Then came a voiceover. Kendrick's voice, calm, serious. What you inherit, you gotta water. What you borrow, you gotta return. What you build should never block what built you. End of video. No music. No visuals. Just black screen, then a whisper. Pay what you owe. And boom, the internet exploded again. LeBron James reposted it. J. Cole liked it. Rhapsody called it a call to spiritual reparations. But while fans celebrated the visual, something else surfaced: another leak. But not by mistake. This one, intentional. A Reddit user named Truth From Within dropped a PDF titled The Ghostwriter List Inside, a spreadsheet of nearly 30 well-known hip-hop hits with anonymous info linking ghostwriters to current chart-toppers. At first, people thought it was a hoax, until 2 ghostwriters came forward on Threads and said, "We're not mad. We just want acknowledgement. Props, respect, a piece." Kendrick started it. We just want it to continue. Suddenly, the Kendrick versus Drake beef seemed tiny because this wasn't just about bars. This was about decades of erasure. And the man who quietly gave millions to Rakim was now seen as the lightning rod for a bigger conversation about credit, legacy, and power in music. That's when a secret Spotify meeting leaked. Insiders say the platform had an emergency call with high-level execs. After fans began review bombing playlists that featured artists accused of stealing styles without acknowledgement, the internal Slack leak read, "This is bigger than Kendrick now. Legacy accountability is going viral. Every artist with a sound is now under a microscope." And the final twist: Rakim himself went live for the first time ever on IG with a rare smile. "Y'all showing love? I see it. But this ain't about me anymore. It's about the soul of the game. Respect don't cost a dime, unless you already owed." Then, off camera, you could hear him laugh. "And y'all better pray Kendrick don't drop another verse about this." Mic dropped. But oh, he might. Because sources say Kendrick's next release, titled Bricks, and the cover, a dusty mic sitting in front of a throne. You already know what that means. The rap world wasn't ready for the firestorm Kendrick had triggered. What began as a quiet gesture to Rakim had turned into a full-blown revolution. Fans weren't just tweeting anymore. They were showing up at a Lil Baby concert in Atlanta. Fans hijacked the encore chanting, "Pay what you." Security couldn't even get the crowd under control for 15 minutes. The lights stayed down. The artist never came back out. At a Rolling Loud pop-up, protesters held up signs with names of hip-hop pioneers: Kool Herc, MC Lyte, Slick Rick, and one massive banner that read, "Without them, you'd be nothing." #Legacy Tax started trending on TikTok, a challenge where young artists pledged to donate 1% of their merch sales to the OGs who inspired their flows. Influencers started holding artists accountable in real time. You claim you're the new Nas. Drop a receipt. Biggie shaped your whole style. Did his fam ever see a check? It wasn't hate, it was justice. And people were hungry for it. But inside the industry, straight up panic. A leaked internal memo from Atlantic Records showed top execs asking, "Should we prep legacy-based equity programs to calm the narrative?" Translation: they were scared. Scared of fans turning on their artists. Scared of Kendrick's invisible hand moving through the culture like a ghost with a lemon tree. Meanwhile, Kendrick still hadn't said a word. But his influence? Deafening. Apple Music added a Pillars of Rap section overnight. Tidal created a Before Kendrick playlist featuring only the icons who paved the path. Spotify reportedly greenlit a documentary series titled The Blueprint Givers. Everyone was trying to get ahead of the storm. Because Kendrick had made one thing clear without ever saying it: if you're eating off the culture, you better be feeding it. To then came the celebrity cosigns. Eminem, "I stole my whole cadence from Rakim. Always said it." Kendrick did more than say it. Salute. Lauryn Hill at a live show. "If every bar you spit comes from someone else's pen, you owe that pen a blessing." Childish Gambino on IG stories. Kendrick paid homage and broke the system. That's why he's untouchable. But as the love grew, so did the hate. An anonymous rapper, heavily speculated to be one of the 2020 XXL freshmen, posted on their close friend's story, "Y'all mad because we not kissing old A***? Times change. New kings now." Big mistake, because fans unleashed fury. They flooded the artist's comments with, "New kings still owe taxes. You wouldn't be rapping in triplets if Rakim hadn't walked. Kendrick gave, you complain. We see you." But the real scare came when multiple WNBA players, NFL stars, and even actors started referencing the movement. Zendaya wore a "Bricks Built Me" shirt on the red carpet. Jalen Hurts walked into a press conference with "Pay what? You owe" embroidered on his jacket sleeve. Snoop Dogg reposted Kendrick's Bricks visual and simply captioned it, "Young King did what most won't." Suddenly, Kendrick wasn't just a rapper, he was a symbol. And that made people nervous. Very nervous. Especially one group, streaming execs. Behind closed doors, insiders say Spotify and Apple execs were drafting legacy indexing proposals. Systems that track stylistic lineage in music so that OGs could be credited algorithmically. One email leaked, "If this movement keeps growing, we're going to face lawsuits, fan-led, artist-led, or both." And at the center of it all, Kendrick, silent, focused. Dangerous.pg Lang posted a black screen on IG with no caption. Comments were filled with, "We know you're watching. Kendrick about to drop the nuke. Bricks incoming." And here's where it gets crazy. A fan outside Kendrick's studio claimed they saw a whiteboard through the window. Blurry photo. But the words, "Bricks equals bloodlines, respect, icons, culture, kings, sacrifice." And under it, a list of initials. RCLQ Caffins are going insane trying to crack the code. Is it a list of the OGs Kendrick is spotlighting in his next move? His Bricks? A documentary? A surprise album? A foundation? Nobody knows. But what we do know, he's not done, not even close. The pressure's building. The rumors are out of control. The industry's paranoid, the fans are foaming at the mouth, and Kendrick, still calm, still quiet. But what drops next? Nobody, and I mean nobody, was ready for it. Because overnight, a 20-second clip leaked from a private PG Long server. Not posted, not promoted, just found. And in that grainy footage, Kendrick in the studio, back turned to the camera. Low lights, hard drums playing faintly in the background, and one line spoken so clear it felt like thunder. "This ain't a verse, this a vow. And before I lay my final brick, gotta speak his name out loud." Boom! Twitter exploded. Who is Kendrick about to name? Final brick. Is this his last album? The way he said his name. That's not just any. Oh gee, that's a war declaration. Speculation ran wild. J-Pac. Biggie Nas. Nope, because a few hours later, another leak. This time from a Bricks promo deck. On the final slide, a single name. Marshall Mathers. Wait, Kendrick's final brick is Eminem. Fans were shook. Nobody saw that coming. Was it a tribute? A takedown? A passing of the torch? Or something way more complicated? Because here's what people started realizing. Eminem gave Kendrick his first major cosign. M called Kendrick one of the best lyricists alive. Kendrick once said, "Eminem showed me what rhyme discipline meant." But they've never done a full track together. Not really, just a cipher. Some short appearances, hints, and now. Kendrick's final move in this Bricks rollout might involve confronting the man who built him up. This ain't about praise anymore. One tweet said, "It's about completion, legacy, closing the circle." Another fan broke it down like this. Rakim was the blueprint. Kendrick paid him forward. But Eminem? Eminem is the brick Kendrick's been standing on this whole time. Now he's either passing the mic or smashing it. And then came the most chilling clue of all. The final leaked image. A Brick's tracklist mock-up. Unconfirmed, but terrifyingly believable. Track 12. Marshall Mathers' Eulogy. Eulogy, a diss. Thank you, a funeral for a sound. A farewell to an era. Nobody knows, but Kendrick knew exactly what he was doing. He lit a match and dropped it in the middle of a house made of history, and now we're all just waiting to see what burns down first. Because if this really is Kendrick's final brick, then we're about to witness the most important moment in hip-hop since Pac dropped Hit 'Em Up. And the worst part? He's still not speaking, but the beat is building. The tension is peaking, and somewhere Eminem is watching. Silently until one of them breaks. And when they do, the entire game might collapse. Yo, did you catch that? Kendrick Lamar just gave his profits to Rakim, sparked a culture war, forced the industry into panic.